Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivarahari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivarahari. Sodanandana Bhajanarandana Yasodanandana Bhajanarandana Yamunatira Vanasani Yamunatira Jaya Damodara Kunja Vihari. Jaya Damodara Kunja Vihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivarahari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivarahari. Yasodanandana Bhajanarandana Yasodanandana Bhajanarandana Yamunatira Vanasani Yamunatira Vanasani. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Dhira Oh, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Astuttara Satya Srimad Divangis ISKCON founder Acharya Jagadguru Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Astuttara Satya Srimad Divangis Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Anand Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Praise Guru Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinatha Shyama Radha Kunda Giri Garavadhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories of Shri Guru Sri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prithya Bhuta Smriti Vadati Sham Prabhati Krishna Vavadashita Mrishi Gaura Karana Jyoti Tridatinanya Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanandjana Salakaya Chakkhurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaha Padantika Vandiham Sri Gurun Sri Utapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajiva Sadhuitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitam Scha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapakanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavani Saj Saraswati Devi Namami Hari Priya Vanchakal Pataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Srila Prabhupada ki, Prabhupada Lilamrta ki, Jai. Sri Happy Ekadasi ki, Jai. Struggling Alone, Chapter 1. Calcutta, August 13, 1965. The Jaladuta is a regular cargo carrier of the Scindia Steam Navigation Company, but there is a passenger cabin aboard. During the voyage from Calcutta to New York in August and September of 1965, the cabin was occupied by Sri Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Swami, whose age was listed as 69, who was taken on board bearing a complimentary ticket with food. The Jaladuta, under the command of Captain Arun Pandya, whose wife was also on board, left at 9 a.m. on Friday, August 13. In his diary, Bhakti Swami noted, "The cabin is quite comfortable, thanks to Lord Sri Krishna for enlightening Sumati Moralji for this arrangement. I am quite comfortable," but on the 14th, he reported sea sickness, dizziness, vomiting, Bay of Bengal, heavy rains, more sickness. On the 19th, when the ship arrived at Colombo, Ceylon, now Sri Lanka, Bhaktivedanta was able to get relief from his seasickness. The captain took him ashore and he traveled around Colombo by car. Then the ship went on towards Cochin, on the west coast of India. Janmashtami, the appearance day of Lord Krishna, fell on the 20th August that year. Bhaktivedanta Swami took the opportunity to speak to the crew about the philosophy of Lord Krishna, and he distributed prasadam he had cooked himself. August 21 was his 70th birthday, observed without ceremony at sea. That same day, the ship arrived at Cochin, and Bhaktivedanta Swami's tomes of Srimad Bhagavatam volumes, which had been shipped from Bombay, were loaded on board. But the place is so celebrated. I was fortunate to go there one time, and the devotee rented a boat for him to go to the sea to have the passing. The passing with Prabhupada. You know, they stop over there, the ship stopped here. So Prabhupada came down to collect his Srimad Bhagavatam. So every year devotee make the festival. Can hire a boat and go there in the sea for a while. By the 23rd, the ship had put out to the Red Sea, where Bhaktivedanta Swami encountered great difficulty. He noted in his diary. Rain, seasickness, dizziness, headache, no appetite, vomiting. In 2 days, he suffered 2 heart attacks. He tolerated the difficulty, meditating on the purpose of his mission. But after 2 days of such violent attacks, he thought that if another were to come, he would certainly not survive. On the night of the 2nd day, he had a dream. Lord Krishna, in his many forms, was rowing a boat, and he told Bhaktivedanta Swami that he should not fear, but should come along. Bhaktivedanta Swami felt assured of Lord Krishna's protection, and the violent attacks did not recur. The Jaladuta entered the Suez Canal on September 1 and stopped in Port Said on the 2nd. Bhaktivedanta Swami visited the city with the captain and said that he liked it. By the 6th, he had recovered a little from his sick illness and was eating regularly again for the first time, having cooked his own khichdi and puris. He reported in his diary that his strength renewed little by little. Friday, September 10th. Today the ship is flying very smoothly. I feel today better, but I am feeling separation from Sri Vrindavan and my Lord, Sri Govinda, Gopinath, Dhira Damodara. The only solace is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in which I am tasting the nectarian of Lord Chaitanya's Leela pastimes. I have left Bharat Bhumi, India, just to execute the order of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in pursuance of Lord Chaitanya's order. I have no qualification, but I have taken up the risk just to carry out the order of His divine grace. I depend fully on their mercy, so far away from Vrindavan. It's not easy. It is not easy. The most difficult thing for anyone to do in this world is to try to become a pure devotee. There is nothing which is compared to the difficulty when experience trying to be a pure devotee. So it's not a surprise that many people will not go for it. Because the difficulty is extremely difficult, really difficult, very difficult. If, if the Prabhupada's wife is not here, the children are not here, no family member is here, it's only him. Suppose he didn't survive the attack, what would have happened? What would have happened if he didn't succeed? What will happen to the body? Can you see the risk he took? You know, risky? Risky. The ocean voyage of 1965 was a calm one for the Jalaput. Captain Pandya said that never in his entire career had he seen such a calm Atlantic crossing. Bhaktivedanta Swami replied that the calmness was Lord Krishna's mercy. Miss Pandya asked Bhaktivedanta Swami to come back with them so that they might have another such crossing. Bhaktivedanta Swami wrote in his diary, "If the Atlantic will have shown its usual pace, perhaps I would have died." But Lord Krishna was taking charge. Lord Krishna has taken charge of the ship. After a 35-day journey from Calcutta, the Jaladuta reached Boston's Commonwealth Pier at 5:30 a.m. on September 17, 1965. The ship was to stop briefly in Boston before proceeding to New York City. Bhaktivedanta Swami had passed through U.S. immigration and customs in Boston. His visa allowed him a 2-month stay, and an official stamped it to indicate his expected date of departure. Captain Pandya invited Bhaktivedanta Swami to take a walk into Boston, where the captain intended to do some shopping. They walked across a footbridge into a busy commercial area with old churches, warehouses, office buildings, bars, tawdry, bookshops, nightclubs, and restaurants. Bhaktivedanta Swami briefly observed the city, but the most significant thing about his short stay in Boston, aside from the fact that he had now set foot in America, was that at the Commonwealth Pier he wrote a Bengali poem entitled Markine Bhagavad Dharma, teaching Krishna consciousness in America. Some of the verses he wrote on board the ship that day are as follows. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why will you bring me to this terrible place? Terrible place. Her Grace Lakshmi Muni Mataji said that in this place they have a very big market, and it was the thing that will welcome you to the market is the smell of the fish. Terrible. And Prabhupada got that smell. Heavy dose of smell. So that's why Prabhupada wrote it here. This terrible place. Why did you bring me to this terrible place, this horrible place? Everything is completely opposite the now. 100% opposite, not similar. Strange. Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva Krishna. I do not know how they will be able to understand it. But I know that your costless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the melodies of devotional service, O Lord? I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. Krishna answered his prayer. The result of the prayer he made and the answer of Krishna is what we are doing now, that all of us has come. He prayed for it, he begged for it, he was ready for the austerity, he made austerity for it. All living entities have come under the control of the illusory energy by your will. And therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure, as you like. O spiritual master of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Only by your costless mercy will my words become pure. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their heart, they will certainly feel gladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. Oh Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So, if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Make me dance, oh Lord, make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the ship Jaladutta, Commonwealth Pier, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, dated 18th September 1965. On the 19th of September, the Jaladutta sailed into the New York harbor and docked at the Brooklyn Pier at 17th Street. Bhaktivedanta Swami saw the awesome Manhattan skyline, the Empire State Building, and like millions of visitors and immigrants in the past, the Statue of Liberty. Bhaktivedanta Swami was dressed appropriately for a resident of Vrindavan. He wore kantimala, neck beads, and a simple cotton dhoti, and he carried japamala, chanting beads, and an old chadar or shawl. His complexion was golden, his head shaven except for the sikha in the back. His forehead decorated with the whitish Vaishnava tilak. He wore pointed white rubber slippers, not uncommon for sadhus in India, but who in New York had ever seen or dreamed of anyone appearing like this Vaishnava? He was possibly the first Vaishnava sannyasi to arrive in New York with uncompromised appearance. Of course, New Yorkers have an expertise in not giving much attention to any kind of strange new arrival. Bhaktivedanta Swami was on his own. He had a sponsor, Mr. Agarwal, somewhere in Pennsylvania. Surely someone will here to greet him, although he had little idea of what to do as he walked off the ship onto the pier. I did not know whether to turn left or right. He passed through the dockside formalities and was met by a representative from Travelers Aid sent by the Agrawals in Butler, Pennsylvania. Carrying only 40 rupees cash, which he himself called a few hours spending in New York, and an additional $20 he had collected from selling 3 volumes of the Srimad Bhagavatam to Captain Pandya. Bhaktivedanta Swami, with umbrella and suitcase in hand, and still escorted by the Travelers' Aid representative, set out for the Port Authority bus terminal to arrange for his trip to Butler. Bhaktivedanta Swami arrived at the Agrawal's home in Butler, Pennsylvania at 4 a.m. and Gopal invited him to sleep on the coach. Their place, a townhouse apartment, consisted of a small living room, a dining room, a kitchenette, 2 upstairs bedrooms, and bath. Here they lived with their 2 young children. Gopal Agrawal and his American wife, Sally, had lived in Butler for a few years now and felt themselves established in a good social circle Since their apartment had so little space, they decided that it would be better if the Swami took a room at the YMCA and came to visit them during the day. Of course, living space wasn't the real difficulty. It was him. How would he fit into the butler atmosphere? Yeah, very, very uncomfortable situation. But Prabhupada did everything. He tolerated everything because of his duty. Sally. It was quite an intellectual group that we were in. And they were fascinated by him. They hardly knew what to ask him. They didn't know enough. But this was just like a dream out of a book. Who would expect to meet a Swami in someone's living room in Butler, Pennsylvania? It was just really tremendous. In the middle of middle-class America, my parents came from quite a distance to see him. We knew a lot of people in Pittsburgh, and they came up. This was a very unusual thing, having him here. But the real interest shown in him was only as a curiosity. He had a typewriter, which was one of his few possessions, and an umbrella. That was one of the things that caused a sensation, that he always carried an umbrella. And it was a little chilly, and he was balding. So he always wore his hat that someone had made for him, like a swimming cap. It was a kind of sensation. And he was so brilliant that when he saw someone twice, he knew how they were. He remembered he was a brilliant man. Or if he met them in our apartment and saw them in a car, he would remember their name. And he would wave and say their name. He was a brilliant man. All the people liked him. They were amazed at how intelligent he was. The thing that got them was the way he remembered their name. And this humorous way. He looked so serious all the time, but he was a very humorous person. He was forbidding in his looks, but he was very charming. He was the easiest guest I have had in my life, because when I couldn't spend time with him, he chanted. And I knew he was perfectly happy. When I couldn't talk to him, he chanted. He was so easy, though because I knew he was never bored, I never felt any pressure or tension about having him. He was so easy that when I had to take care of the children, he would just chant. It was so great. When I had to do things, he would just be happy chanting. He was a very good guest. When the people would come, they were always smoking cigarettes, but he would say, "Pay no attention. Think nothing of it." That's what he said. Think nothing of it, because he knew we were different. I didn't smoke in front of him. I knew I wasn't supposed to smoke in front of Gopal's father. So I sort of considered him the same. He didn't make any problem for anybody. a sadhu. A sadhu should be amiable, should attract, should be sweet, as people can relate and hear, not agitating, not being difficult to deal with. On September 22nd, a feature article appeared in the Butler Eagle in fluent English. Devotee of Hindu cult explains commission to visit the West. A photographer had come to the Agrawal's apartment and had taken a picture of Bhakti Dhira Swami standing in the living room holding an open volume of Srimad Bhagavatam. The caption read, Ambassador of Bhakti Yoga. The article began. A slight brown man in faded orange drabs and wearing white bathing shoes stepped out of a compact car yesterday and into the Butler YMCA to attend a meeting. He is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swamiji, a messenger from India to the peoples of the West. The article referred to Srimad Bhagavatam as biblical literature and to Bhaktivedanta Swami as the learned teacher. It continued. My mission is to revive a people's God consciousness, says the Swamiji. God is the father of all living beings in thousands of different forms, he explains. Human life is a stage of perfection in evolution. If we miss this message, back we go through the process again, he believes. Not believe, it's a reality. Bhaktivedanta lives as a monk and permits no woman to touch his feet. On a 6-week ocean voyage and at the Agrawal apartment in Butler, he prepares his meals in a brass pan with separate labels of steaming rice, vegetables, and making bread at the same time. You know the bread? Chapati. He's learned from his friend Radna, he would say Indian bread, chapati. That's I'm able to understand when you go to eat bread. Maharaj always call Indian chapati, Indian bread, chapati. Prabhupada will do all at the same time. He is a strict vegetarian and is permitted to drink only milk. The miracle food for babies and old men, he noted. If Americans would give more attention to their spiritual life, they will be much happier, he says. That is true. Yes. Sally, when he cooked, he used only one burner. How many? One. The bottom level pot created the steam. He had the dal on the bottom and it created the steam to cook many other vegetables. So for about a week, he was cooking this great big lunch, which was ready about 11:30, and Gopal always came home for lunch about 12. I used to serve Gopal a sandwich, and then he would go back to work. But it didn't take me long to realize that the food Swamiji was cooking we will enjoy too. So, he started cooking that noon meal for all of us. Oh, we enjoyed it so much. Our fun was to show him what he knew of America. And he had never seen such things. It was such fun to take him to the supermarket. He loved opening the package of okra or frozen beans, and he didn't have to clean them and cut them and do all those things. He opened the freezer every day and just chose his items. It was fun to watch him. He sat on the couch while I swept with the vacuum cleaner, and he was so interested in that. And he was so interested in that. And we talked for a long time about that. He was so interesting. So every day he would have this big feast, and everything was great fun. We really enjoyed it. I would help him cut the things. He would spice it, and we would laugh. He was the most enjoyable man. Most enjoyable man. I really felt like a sort of daughter to him, even in such a short time. Like he was my father-in-law, but I really felt very close to him. He enjoyed everything. I liked him. I thought he was tremendous. Our boy, Bridge, was 6 or 7 months old when the Swami came. And the Indians love boys. The Swami liked Bridge. He was there when Bridge first stood. The first time Bridge made the attempt and actually succeeded. The Swami stood up and clapped. It was a celebration. Another time, our baby teetered on the Swami's shoes. I thought, oh, those shoes, they have been all over India, and my kid is chewing on them. You know how a mother would feel. Almost every night, he used to sit in a next door neighbor's backyard. We sat out there sometimes with him, or we stayed in the living room. One time something happened with our little girl, Pamela, who was only 3 years old. I used to take her to Sunday school, and she learned about Jesus in Sunday school. Then when she would see Swamiji with his robes on and everything, she called him Swami Jesus. And one time when it first dawned on us what she was saying, she called him Swami Jesus. And the Swami smiled and said, and a little child shall lead them. It was so funny. A little child shall lead them. Do you understand?
Is that a quote from the Bible?
It's not Bible. It's not in the Bible. A little child shall lead them. They didn't see Prabhupada as a pure devotee, but the child sees him as Jesus. That's what you can see. This is our Jesus now. So the child is teaching. Bhakti Dhira Swami spoke to various groups in the community, including the Lions Club. He also gave a talk to the Y and at St. Fidelis Seminary College in Hema, Pennsylvania. And he spoke regularly to guests at the Agrawal home. He saw that the prospect for preaching to the Americans were good, but he felt he would need support from India. At any rate, after spending 1 month in Butler, he now had 1 month left in America. So he decided to go to New York City and tried to preach there before his term was up. But first, he wanted to visit Philadelphia, where he had arranged a meeting with a Sanskrit professor, Dr. Norman Brown, at the University of Pennsylvania. As a sannyasi, Bhaktivedanta Swami was used to picking up and leaving one place for another. As a mendicant preacher, he had no remorse about leaving behind the quiet life of the Butler YMCA, and he had no attachment for the domestic habitat where he would cook and talk with Sally Agrawal about vacuum cleaners, frozen food, and American ways. Srila Prabhupada ki, Itai God, Premanandi, our glorious assembly with you.